If you have ever wanted to try model railroading, but you keep saying you don't have the time, the space, the budget, or if you're looking for a fun little model railroad project to do with your kids or your grandkids that won't take weeks or months, well, this is your wake-up call to tell you that you can do model railroading. And this little guy right here is how. Special thanks to these model railroad businesses for their support. Stay tuned at the end of this episode for some special discount codes. This is a mini diorama kit. Well, more specifically, this is what it looks like when you get it. Kato makes these and they are pretty awesome. When you buy one of these Kato kits, you get the framework plus a piece of Unitrack that fits on there. And you can find these kits for about $20 or $30 with track. And then there's another $10 scenery kit that you can buy to add stuff onto it. You can also order the framework kits from Klondike's, you know, the place where I get most of my T-Track module kits from. And these are less than $10 each, or you can buy 10 packs for about $60. These kits don't come with the track, but that's pretty easy to pick up and it will be linked in the description below. I'm going to be custom decorating 2 dioramas, a straight and a curved diorama. Let's get started. These kits are super easy to build. They snap together and you can use something as simple as white glue to assemble them. The straight sections use a Kato 124mm half straight track section, and the curves use Kato's 183mm radius curves. Now these are pretty tight, and this means that you'll have some limits on locomotives and rolling stock, including no 6-axle diesels and no super long rolling stock. Once you have them assembled, it's time to scenic them. I'm going to start with the curved diorama. To start, I'm going to be using some of this Crayola terracotta modeling clay. You can get this in tubs for about $5 at Hobby Lobby, sometimes it's even on sale for even cheaper. I place the clay and sculpt it into the shape that I like. For the curved diorama, I'm going to be doing the start of a hillside on the outside of it. Once that is done, I need to make the holes for the trees. This clay will dry overnight, so I need to get these holes set before it dries. Now I'm going to be using some of these conifers from JTT Scenery. Again, I picked these up at Hobby Lobby. I cut the bases off and use the trees to stick holes in the clay. Once I am happy with the way it looks, I remove the trees and I let the clay dry overnight. The next day, I can start putting scenery material on. And I'm going to start with some ballast. Now, one cool thing about Kato and their pre-attached roadbed is they actually make ballast that is designed to blend with that plastic roadbed so that you can't really tell that it's plastic, and it works pretty well. So I'm going to be using Kato ballast here. I apply some glue, then sprinkle the ballast on the side of the track, and I use a brush to neaten it up. While that is drying, I apply glue to the rest of the diorama. I then sprinkle some Earthblend Scenery Turf on the glue. Now I'm using this from JTT Scenery, but you can use Woodland Scenics or whatever you like. After applying Earthblend, I add some coarse medium green turf, and then I soak it with IPA and my scenic cement. While that is drying, I can place the trees in their predetermined holes. Lastly, I placed some clump foliage to represent some shrubbery. Once that is done, I can let the diorama dry. Now, while that one was drying, I did the exact same thing to the straight module. The only difference was using some deciduous trees with removable bottoms, which means I didn't have to cut them. I could just pop the bottoms off. And I still placed them in the clay, let the clay dry overnight, and then scenic the diorama pretty much the exact same way. And once everything was dry, they came out like this. Okay, so this is great, but what does a train look like running on these? Well, I actually have enough of these that I haven't seen it yet, but still have built to make a complete loop. So I assemble the loop and plug in the Kato Power pack, and now it's time to run some trains. I start with this Atlas Trainman Jeep 15. I connected some short covered hoppers and a 50-foot boxcar just to do some testing. These are about the largest things you can run on this because of the tight radius. So I would stick to 2 and 4 axle locomotives and cars that are under scale 50 feet. Still though, it looks good. The thing with these dioramas is that Kato has an entire line of small trains called the Pocket Line, and they're really just starting to come into the US in bigger amounts. And when you use these Pocket Line locomotives, the dioramas really shine, like with this Pocket Line Steeple Cab. Now, I'm also hooking up some of the hopper cars from the Kato 8-pack hopper car starter pack, and all of this is going to be linked below. The really cool thing about this is that it is affordable. If you buy the kits from Klondike's, they're less than $10 each. The track comes in 4 packs, and that's about $10 to $12 each, depending on which track, and that'll get you enough track for 4 kits. The Pocket Line Steeple Cab locomotive can be found for under $40. The Power Pack, brand new, is about $60, and the most expensive thing, the rolling stock, can be found in packs between $70 and $90, and of course, you can buy that separately as well to save you a little bit more money. You can also upgrade a bit and buy the Kato F-Unit trackless train sets, which I absolutely love. Those are about $150, and they come with an F-Unit locomotive and 4 pieces of rolling stock, including a caboose. Now, buying all of this at once can set you back a little bit, but you can buy it slowly and build the little dioramas in your spare time. There really isn't a better way to get into model railroading if you're tight on space, budget, and time. I have linked all of these products and similar items that I've mentioned in the description below. Before we go, check out some of these cool model railroad businesses. Mini Prints creates 3D printed detail parts, figures, and animals that make your model railroad layout come alive. Get 15% off with code DIY15 at miniprints.com. because it's the little things that matter most. Scaletree.com. Scaletree.com makes hero and forest trees for HO and N scale. They also do custom trees for custom orders. Check them out at scaletree.com. Model Railway Backshop is a great place if you're looking for a quality paint job for your old or new brass model locomotive. If you're looking to get that brass model weathered, you can get that done too. Right now, you can get 10% off any brass model painting and weathering job by using the promo code NMRA10. Check them out at modelrailwaybackshop.com. Penguin 3D Workshop offers 3D prints and electronics for model railroading, specializing in hard or impossible to find train parts, and they also offer custom designing and printing. Use promo code DDRR5OFF to get 5% off your order. I really enjoy showing people that you can do model railroading and it is not a hobby that's out of reach. And these little mini diorama kits are just one great way to make model railroading more accessible and more fun. Plus, they're just a little adorable. Thank you all so much for watching. Until next time, I'm Jimmy from the DIY and Digital. Stay safe, be kind, and happy railroading.